I know they out here talking like I ain't the man, like I ain't gon' do it. Every single thing they said I can, like I ain't been holding off the tapes and giving them a chance, like I ain't afraid to switch the floor like a change of plans. Change the plans of these rappers, readjust your whole summer. You ain't seen the projections, boy, you gon' be outnumbered. Can't afford not to win, losing ain't in the budget, and it's far from an option. That's why we never discuss it. We don't got that writing, that's just something we know. Ain't no light to the solitude, everything is a go. I ain't noticed your progress. What you don't understand is everybody sounding like a little boy to the man. You should know I'm always on my grind, always on my grind. Keep it 9 to 5, I be on my job all the time. Everything is mine, everything is mine. Understand me, if I said it, then I mean it, I ain't lying. Understand me, you ain't get it, you should read between the lines. Understand me, no suggestions, clearly I've been doing fine. Understand me, couldn't see me if I opened up the blinds. Understand me, don't request a feature, I ain't got the time. Understand me, yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. Don't come to me for help when your career is looking desperate. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. She'll probably give me brain, cause she knows just where I'm headed out. Life is funny, ain't it funny, right? Told you don't disturb me when I'm trying to get this money right. And I'm supposed to...
Hopefully you can hear me now. That was a major glitch right there, people. As this gentleman right here is experiencing right now. So I'd ask you, have you ever had one of these days? But yeah, we're having one as well. Like, what the hell? Pull this large piece of machinery out here and see if I can fix this. Put it back in, just like that. Oh, skeet, skeet, skeet. Oh, maybe I'll just copy the computer screen here. Yeah, that's, I'll get this shit done. That's determination right there. Apologize if that's too loud. Yeah. Never had one of those days? Welcome back. Hopefully you can hear me now. I don't know. But if you're new to the show, you can always go over to the right-hand side, scroll down to the bottom where Jamie was able to inform me what I already had an idea that was going on, but I wasn't sure. So, yeah, definitely go down to the right-hand side. It says live chat, and you can come right here with Jamie and me, and I'm just waiting for a thumbs up that you can hear me now. We lost a good bit of time there, and well, we'll just carry it over because, you know what, I don't have anything else better to do, and that's what we're here to do. So if it looks like I have a slimmer head today, that's because I lost the big ass headphones. Yeah, so if I'm looking particularly good today, that's why. As usual, you know, we're a tattoo shop. We decided that life sucked for you and not us, because we do our dream every single day. And so we decided to come in and do this program to cheer you up, maybe teach you something a little bit about art. I've got a wicked good art selection for you today. It's not going to be so much about teaching as it is a form of art. So definitely, as always, shout out to Chris Pisano. He made that intro video. It's BXZZANO. If you're ever catching us after we're not live and you can't really watch us, you can always go to SoundCloud at ATF Art and Entertainment Talk and listen to us that way. We're usually pretty good about getting that stuff up there. And yeah, so welcome. We had a little bit of a hiccup. We lost some time there, and we're just going to try and make it up by staying over. So I hope you can stay with us, and we'll do our best to have a good show here. I always hate when that happens because it totally throws my vibe off. You know, I'm always ready to come in here and say what's up to y'all, and no one's responding to me. Somebody let me know if you can even hear me right now. As always, if you ever have any questions or concerns or anything like that, you can go to apexarttalk@gmail.com and send us, you know, whatever it is. We, you know, be polite. We might shout you out. We might, you know, throw you out. I don't know. Shout out to Murky's Apparel. As always, he does all of our graphic design and stickers and T-shirts and everything in between. And so, jumping right into it, we've got some interesting topics today, as you can tell by the title of the show. If you were a big furniture person, and you like to switch out the color of your couch, IKEA was the place to do that. They've been around for a long time. They're actually quite the business. They were talking about coming to Cary in about 3 years. That is no longer an option. They are officially withdrawing and said they are trying to get out of the residential, kind of communities, which makes no sense because you're a furniture business. Why the hell wouldn't you want to be there? And Cary people, they got some money, and so let's see what they had to say about this. And if you're familiar, there'll be a commercial or not. There we go.
Big economic news impacting Wake County, and that is the loss of IKEA. The store had announced plans to come to Cary in 2020, giving the community a lot of hope for the future of Cary Town Center. Now, it is not coming. WRAL's Casey Cunningham is live to break down how all this unfolded and what the impact will be. Casey?
Catherine, it was in this shopping center behind us that IKEA was supposed to go. Of course, now it's not coming. People we spoke with today, incredibly disappointed. But in addition to being disappointed, there are now a lot of questions that exist about the future of this shopping center.
It was inside this building that IKEA was supposed to find a new home in the Cary Town Center. Many here in Cary hopeful for sleek-looking furniture and, of course, iconic meatballs. But most of all, hopeful for new life inside the shopping center.
I'm just as in shock right now. I
IKEA
was really
makes
hoping
meatballs.
that was gonna help spur this area.
Wednesday afternoon, the town manager of Cary announced the sudden change of plans. The bottom line is that as wonderful a place Cary is, we are just too suburban for IKEA's new direction.
Malls seem to be kind of a thing of the past now, so I work in this mall. I'd like it to do well, but I can't really say that it looks like if IKEA pulled out, then I can't really say that it looks like it's probably going to be here much longer.
We had a lot of questions about the next steps for this area, so we reached out to town council member Don France.
It was going to be a boon for our community. It was going to really help revitalize Cary Town Center Mall. So, yeah, to find out they're not coming, it was very disappointing.
Yeah.
France says it was out of...
So if you guys know anything about the Cary Town Center, it just seems like every time you go in there, there's less and less stores. They don't last very long, and it just doesn't seem like, other than going to Dave and Buster's, it's slim pickings to go out there and do anything. Like I said, and Dave and Buster's food sucks. For real. So in other news, the former Wake County Register of Deeds has swindled the community quite a bit. I read this yesterday, and this lady took 10 vacations on your dime, and it ended up being quite a bit of money here. Let me see if I can throw it up there. Okay, let's play it. There you go. Play.
This is Alice. She has the AT&T.
Yeah, as usual. Spectrum trying to ruin our show, even though your speed sucks. We pay $200 a month for you, and this is what we get. So, yeah, commercials about Spectrum and how good they are, right? Oh. And then, look, this is the speed of Spectrum. This is $240 a month so that we could stream to you. And I can't even read my thing. This is bullshit. It's all, this is how it goes with the show. If we have technical difficulties, it all just snowballs after that. Investigators are reviewing a former Wake County Register of Deeds Laura Riddick financial history and looking into her stays at resorts at the Outer Banks and in Florida. According to search warrants Monday, she took $900,000 or more. Yeah, cash receipts. So if you went in and you paid cash, she made deposits into her own bank, into 2 bank accounts, totaling $872,555 in the last 7 years. So yeah, so she's probably gonna, have to find backup in jail because she's going there for sure. Oh, goodness. What do people like? He's not even a good thief anymore. You know what I mean? You can't even be a good thief. If you're gonna be a thief, fucking do your research. You can look up anything on Google these days. Also, in other news, families are finding rejoice after finding. I guess it would be. Let's see, on March 11th, 1944, the 21-year-old second lieutenant was aboard a B-52 bomber, and I'll throw this up here, and all the links to this, people, will be underneath the caption there, after the show post, which is usually not that long. You know what, I'm going to make sure that I at least have sound right now, which I can't tell. Nobody's answering me. If you can hear me, say something to me, please, because I just refuse to keep talking on this show, and nobody's actually here or hearing me. So, but back to it. B-52 bomber with 10 others was struck by a Japanese anti-aircraft fire and plunged into the Pacific Ocean. His fellow crew members, called Heaven Kim Wait, was found at the bottom of the bay, coastal Papua New Guinea. A wave of mixed with grief washed over his family. Many members have ever met too young to have met him. So, anyways, some of the people bailed out of the cockpit, and he was never found. And so, 74 years later, they have found his airplane, and he was in it. So, yeah, long story short is another soldier, another veteran is coming home to be buried properly like he should. And we're just happy that, he's coming home. So, yeah, definitely a cool story if you want to read it, because to them, when you don't have a body and you have to do a burial, it's a bad deal. So, and I'm all too familiar with that just because, a lot of my mom's side of the family are fishermen, and, there's those guys when they, deadliest catch and all that other good stuff. There's 100 different ways to fish out there that you'll never come back and see your family ever again. And so, I know this is kind of old news, but we always got to cheer you up. And the way that I am going to do that today is by playing Mark Zuckerberg's Bad Lip Reading. I found this utterly hilarious.
Thanks for coming, Mr. Zuckerberg. How are you?
Just a sec. Mom, could you get me my Frodo ring? I want it here.
Okay, now that we got the ring sorted out, we can move on to the topic at hand, which is the concerns that have been raised. You need water, okay? Now, as I was saying, there's been a lot of concern about people's private information and how... Okay, how about you just chug the water? I want you to cut it off. Are you blowing bubbles? I'm gonna have to spank you. Okay, now you good? I swear, it's like he's got a mask on. Listen, kid, blink if you're not a lamp. Wow. We'd like you to make a little smile just to show that you can. Oh, good heavens, that's just horrible. Stop that, son. For the rest of the day, will you not do that, please?
So I have to admit that all of this is just boring as beans. And, what are we talking about? And what am I going to ask? It was about, oh yeah, so when I have the Facebook, then do I also have the internet?
Yeah, you do. I'd just like everyone to know that my van is for sale.
Great.
I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but if you guys could kind of like drive it and stuff, then yeah, I'm pretty sure you'd want to buy it.
No, wait, because this van, I mean, it's special.
Nope.
No, hey, I'll send you a picture, and you'll say, I want this in my driveway.
No, please don't send anything.
Okay, well, I guess you're stupid.
It's just a van.
I told you it's a special van.
Do you think that I might need to shave my head for a Frenchman? Because some people have said to me, shave your head. What do you think?
Just so you know, I will not do that.
Okay.
Mr. Zuckerman, World War I was awful. Do you agree?
Yes.
Well, why are we even here then? Senator Brown?
Judy, you were meant to be only with me. Da, 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 da. Judy, you were born in Senator Graham,
huh?
You got any questions for me, or?
Oh, shoot. See, what happened there is you guys caught me singing Judy Moonlight because I really like it. It's a really great song because Judy Moonlight is the one the song is about.
Hey, ask me something.
Do you like your heart rate?
I'll get back to you about that.
It's my turn. Can we be friends later?
No, I mean, no, we probably shouldn't.
Would you say that if I lived in a treehouse? I doubt it. Have you ever smelled a girl's feet? Because I imagine me and you could be doing that at some point.
No.
What's the problem, little friend?
Don't try to get in my Porsche again.
But I really like you.
Mr. Facebook Man, lift your hand out like this, boy. Swing it out like this.
You think it's hard? Believe me, I could hold a hand in the air all day.
You see it?
I see it. It's tradition where I'm from to stare at the outstretched hand.
That's for having your hair like that.
Hey, I'll go, bro. Do you worry about those little weenies you get from Barb from downstairs? Well, I do not want that to be a thing. Hey, really, man, I think people will find you more fun if you open your mind about the little weenies. I doubt that.
Over here.
Sorry, kid, I forget your name.
Bojang Bugami.
Bugami, that's weird. Say, what is that? Flemish or French or Japanese or Anglo?
Yep.
Okay.
Good hang, buddy. Cool hang. You have a bean head. Well, really, that's great. That kind of reminds me of how I knew Einstein back when I was just a kid. I would go to his apartment, and dude had a green beanbag. I wish that was right. Yeah, and he had this deal where you could also make all the chocolate milk you liked. You know, I can tell you what Einstein would have.
So, it's bad lip reading. Those guys are hilarious. I love them to death. Yeah, I could just stay on that all day long. So we're not going to do that. But you know what we also have that I found hilarious is that this kid's parents are having to take him to court, okay? He's 30 years old and will not leave home. His argument, well, if I can get it to pull up here, is hilarious. And just so you know that the world is ending soon, I wanted to play this for you because it is just classic. And as usual, as soon as I play it, we will have a commercial. And so yeah, he's 30 years old, upstate New York, unfortunately, because that's
Dear
where I was
romantics,
born.
if you want to get away to Florida.
And yeah, so his parents, he did not want to leave home, and so he made his parents take him to court, and so basically they're divorcing him. Here we go.
A couple in New York may finally have an empty nest thanks to a court ruling that's forcing their grown son out of their home. CBS 4's Hannah Doba has the story.
A judge in Syracuse has decided it's finally time for Michael Rotundo to move out of his parents' New York home. Mark and Christina Rotundo took their 30-year-old son to court after he ignored multiple written notices to leave. Justice Donald Greenwood also tried convincing him to leave voluntarily. Rotundo argued he needed more time.
6-month notice to quit is a reasonable amount of time for someone who has been depending on persons for support.
After a fruitless 30-minute back and forth, the judge ordered Rotundo out. In previous court documents, Rotundo said that in the 8 years he has lived with his parents, he was never expected to contribute to household expenses or maintenance. His parents offered him money to leave. Rotundo called the ruling outrageous and says he will appeal. Hannah Doba, CBS News, New York.
Rotundo also asserted that he never assisted with chores and claims that it was all part of his living agreement. After the proceedings, he left the courthouse to return to his parents' home.
Please just end it now. You know what I mean? Like, if you're 30 fucking years old and you cannot get a job, clean up for you. I mean, this is like a real life Step Brothers, only it's just one dude and he looks like a fucking dweeb. And so the next, funny thing was this it's a fucked up video parody of Ed Sheeran. And so, of course, we have to share.
The club isn't the best place to stalk a lover, so the gym is where I go. That is where I spy on you when you box. I pretend I box also. I've got a weird obsession with the shape of your body. This creepy song is all about that. Like your hands, nose, the shape of your ears, hips and throat, and the shape of your mouth. And now I'm singing like, what size are your boxing gloves? Show me your hand shape.
Hold on, what? Excuse me.
Come on now, just let me see. I may be crazy, don't mind me.
Say, boy, your head is messed up. Don't touch my waist, why are you measuring me?
Because I love your body.
OMG, you are a freak.
I'm in love with the shape of you. I made a body diagram too. Your stomach is real flat and smooth, and your butt's running bubbly. Last night I was in your room, and I stole this red bra from you. That's how I figured out the shape of your boobs. Can I measure your inseam?
Weirdo, 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 weirdo. You're obsessed with my body.
Don't go, don't go, don't go, don't go. What's your pie in the balls?
I think he did a really, really good job of looking like Ed Sheeran. I just think he looks like a really fucked up leprechaun.
Even when you took a shower, making mental pics of all of your shapes. I left a note in your locker, son, your body stalker. Let's both get naked, what do you say? And now you're singing like,
weirdo, do you even?
Yeah, so you can obviously tell that I was, trying real hard last night. And on to the number, and this was a coincidence. I go down through this list every Sunday and Wednesday night, and so I did not plan to have 2 bad lip reading, but last week they banned my podcast from going out to other countries because I played some of the wedding. And so this is just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. This is number 5 trending on YouTube is bad lip reading, the princess wedding. And of course it's gonna play slow because that's what they do. Come on. There we go. Yes? There we go. The royal wedding. Yeah, this one isn't nearly as long,
How
so.
many animals would you say you've probably killed? You think I've kept count? Absolutely. 1,693 giraffes. You all right? Not yet. Do you need a pen?
Why would I need a pen?
I'm not sure. I think she's brilliant.
Harry and Meghan, who is your favorite Harry Potter character?
Hagrid.
Hagrid.
Not correct.
My friends, dog food doesn't feel so gross to the starving man.
If you want a hot dog, then you gotta cook a hot dog. What? Put it on the stove. But you won't get enough.
You won't get enough. Does it help you to eat this wiener thing? I don't think that it does.
You know, I slipped and I fell into a coffin this weekend. No, I didn't. It was just a dream.
It was just a dream.
This one by far was so much better than.
And do you know what I felt like? Like the best squirrel in the hole. Let us all try to be the best squirrel in the hole.
Oh, I don't like the air in here. Can you smell it?
So we lost a little bit of time due to technical difficulties, and I want to just make sure that I'm going to cover everything today. If you're just joining in right now, you can go over to the right-hand side and go all the way down to the bottom and hit live chat. Of course, you can see what I'm doing. So, anyways, you can go down to the bottom and hit live chat, and you can come up where Jamie has joined us right now and is chatting with me. And also, if you're catching this show after hours, you can always go to apexarttalk@gmail.com. And we are experiencing technical difficulties today. It just seems like everything is running slow. But we are powering through, as always, with the royal wedding. And so, yeah, all the links to this stuff, if you guys want to watch it, will be posted after the show is off the air. And these were all, like, really good. So if you are a fan of The Voice, I think that's what it is. Sanford, we had a kid from Sanford that came in second place last night, and this was trending at number 6.
Here in Los Angeles, live, we're back, and for one of these incredible artists, Bryn and Britton, one of their lives is about to change forever. Congratulations to you both for being. Just getting this far in this competition is really incredible. You're both winners for sure. Kelly, let me turn to you, our first-time coach here. Any potential final words here for Bryn?
No final. She goes, Blake, you're gorgeous. Like, that's amazing. Those weren't my final words.
I'm actually worried about her for saying that.
Not my final words.
He's not gorgeous up close.
No, I just want to tell Bryn there are no final words. Like, we're so excited. We're already talking about, we have people lined up that love her and want to work with her, and we're so excited about her record. And honestly, the same thing for Britney. All these two are standing here first and second. Who cares? Y'all have delivered. You have shown up to this stage, and you have every time just blown us away, and you're super talented, the both of you. And I couldn't be more proud of both of you. And seriously, I'm such a fan. So happy to be on the ride. So happy to be on the ride.
There are so many of these shows, it's just tough to catch up with.
Yeah,
but the gentleman in the gray is from
moment
Sanford.
For both of you, I just want to speak to both of you at this time. You know, you're both so powerful and incredible and focused and driven and passionate about what you love and what you do. And
This is kind of getting drawn out a little bit. Oh, you're still talking? Okay.
The winner of The Voice is...
So there you have it. She was 15 years old, or is 15 years old, so I'm sure that that's both a good thing and a bad thing, simply because, you know, stardom can ruin children, so I don't know. And number 12 I thought was absolutely hilarious. Single man cooking, or just
hey guys,
single.
Grant here. If you're single like me, you might have a tough time cooking or grocery shopping without throwing away a ton of food. You might also have a Peter Pan complex and the feeling that no one loves you because deep down, you don't deserve it. Here are 5 tips to help with the first thing. The first thing I recommend for single people is to skip cooking altogether. Get takeout. It really cuts down on the sad factor of standing over a small burner alone. Grant, I'm single, but I like cooking. You're lying to yourself. The only people who like cooking are the ones with someone to cook for. That ain't you, Buster, and at this rate, it might never be. Sometimes getting takeout just isn't practical. On those nights, I like to call in the Navy, Captain Crunch and Captain Morgan. The breakfast cereal is an inexpensive source of carbs to fill your stomach but not your soul, and alcohol will put you to sleep so you can stop feeling this way. Now, doctors say alcohol is a depressant, but those know-it-alls don't know real depression. They probably all have kids and houses. From time to time, you gotta fire up the oven and make a lasagna the way Mom used to make. It has all the carby goodness of cereal and it smells like childhood. Remember that smell? Oh God, you were so happy then, weren't you? You had so much potential. You hadn't disappointed so many people, most of all yourself. When you're done, go and leave the whole pan in the sink. Who's gonna care? Please. Somebody care? I date. I do. I date a lot. Enough anyway. It doesn't work out, and I tell myself I wasn't the right person, but I don't know. Could it be that I don't want someone who wants me because what kind of person would want me? Therapist. I can't afford a therapist. Student loans. It's another thing. Why would anyone date someone who's so fucking broke all the time? Why? Would I inflict myself on someone else? Yeah. Don't buy too much. Hey, it's Grant from College Humor. Click here to subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, so the link is at the bottom, as always. I just found that particularly hilarious. But you know what? I have a really fucked up sense of humor as well, so let's check our live chat here. Well, it appears that I don't know if we're playing or not. Let me see. I'm going to check. So, let's see here. Go to YouTube. See if y'all are chatting with me here. Because my computer screen has frozen, and if I could show it to you, it's still on Mark Zuckerberg bad lip reading. And it does say we're live, and there we go. So, and if I could show it to you, it's still on Mark Zuckerberg. There we go. So my live chat is working, but my feed is not. So at least we're live, and at least we have sound finally, right? And Jamie is still here chatting it up with me. So, you know, I always try and go find something for you guys to learn as far as new types of art. But you know, I'll get into looking for art and I'll get lost for days because I'm an artist. Yeah. So, but I found some really, like, fucked up, gory, like, just creepy art. And I was like, I couldn't get away from it. So I was just like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. So today we are visiting creepy ass art.
Slap.
The 10 most disturbing pieces of art. Great art has the potential to inspire all sorts of emotions. The following disturbing pieces of art happen to bring out feelings of dread, horror, and complete hopelessness. So why not spare a few minutes as we take a look at the 10 most disturbing pieces of art. Number 10. Francisco Goya, Saturn Devouring His Son. This piece by Spanish artist Francisco Goya depicts the Greek myth of the Titan Cronus, who, fearing being overthrown, promptly devoured each of his children at birth. Look at that expression.
Oh shit, why am I doing this? It's just so good.
That is pretty creepy.
Coincidentally, that's the same face everyone pulls when they eat McDonald's. Number 9. Patricia Piccinini, Undivided. Piccinini is an Australian artist who works with a variety of media, particularly sculpture. Her work aims to address concerns about biotechnology and mapping the human genome. Her sculptures often depict bizarre creatures with oddly human features. This piece, titled Undivided, showcases a humanoid creature with a bladed carapace. It instills a real sense of unease as it clutches to the young human child. You can see there are other creatures emerging from the back of the first creature. There's just something so unwholesome about this image. Number 8. Caravaggio, Judith beheading Holofernes. This gruesome painting by Caravaggio, painted in 1598, depicts Judith
that's actually really good.
and decapitating the Assyrian general Holofernes. The attention to detail heightens the horror of the piece. And just look at that creepy old lady.
Good things I brought me noggin sack.
Number 7. Theodore Guericou, Anatomical Pieces and Heads Severed. This is a series of very macabre paintings by French painter Theodore Guericou. During the early 1800s, Guericou began preparatory work for one of his most famous works, Raft of the Medusa, by borrowing severed body parts from the Paris morgue. He would paint the pieces in disjointed positions.
So I'm going to turn him down a little bit so I can speak a little bit here. I mean, I guess there's always a way that you can take your thoughts and your thought processes and design some stuff. But I mean, some people have really, really screwed up brains.
The Judgment of Cambyses. At first glance, this painting, depicting the arrest of corrupt Persian judge Sisamnus, seems rather harmless until you notice...
We're gonna...
Oh, dear God, what are they doing?
They're skinning him.
Number 5.
Ugh.
Maria Rubinki, Various Sculptures. Danish artist Maria Rubinki works with porcelain figures to create truly unsettling imagery. It's all about little girls dicing their own legs, ripping their scalps in two, and pulling out their own eyes. Number 4. Francis Bacon, Study after Velasquez's portrait of Pope Innocent X. This is a haunting 1953 painting by Irish-born British figurative painter Francis Bacon. It depicts a warped version of the portrait of Innocent X, painted by Spanish painter
I mean, all these links will be at the bottom. I wanted to go through all of these because all of them are super freaking creepy. But just to show you, like some of these people were painting this shit, you know, thousand years ago, you know?
Artwork created by the mentally imbalanced get a fascination to people because they provide a unique insight into an unseen world. They help us to understand how people
Disturbing art made by mentally ill people.
These artworks are often highly disturbing, conveying the full horror of their madness far better than any psychologist can. I have selected 4 artists whose work shows the nightmarish disturbance of their own minds. Richard Dadd was a Victorian-era painter born in England in 1817. A lot of his work focuses on fairies, pixies, and other folklore subjects, as well as Oriental
This dude's
scenes
voice is
inspired
like
by his
utterly
travels.
creepy.
The sheer amount of detail in his paintings show an obsessive mind, one that focuses on minuscule details to a compulsive degree. During a trip to Egypt in 1842, Richard Dadd's personality began to change drastically. He began to believe that his mind was being controlled by the Egyptian god Osiris and became violent and delusional. Believing he was suffering from sunstroke, he returned to England and was taken in by his family in an attempt to recuperate him. His condition worsened during this period. He became convinced that his father was actually the devil in disguise, and one day during a walk in the countryside, he pounced on his father from behind.
Alright, yeah, this dude is getting creepy as hell, okay. We're gonna fast forward.
Richard's mental state. The flattened perspective suggests a schizophrenic mind, which attaches equal significance to mundane events as they would to important events.
Wow, that
the
is...
chaotic world is sorted and levelled. The accidental arrangements of nature are organised and obsessed over. This shows a mind that attempts to see logical patterns in random noise. The flat landscape is crisscrossed with...
So as summer approaches, I just actually got a message on my phone from my dad. My daughter is graduating 5th grade today, so congratulations, Susan. And I'm encouraging them to start getting material ready so that they can do their own show this summer. And so we hope she has a good ceremony. And I know that they watch my show, but they're currently at a ceremony right now. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Susan. Congratulations. Hope you enjoy junior high school. And we're going to go right to our last one because I have an awesome motivational speech. I know Tony Robbins caught some slack recently because of some things he said. But I generally think he is a really great person, and so that's who our motivational speech at the end of the day is
can have an effect on a person's psychological state. So with all this in mind, it's not surprising that some paintings have had some strange effects on either the people who own it or even just the people who view it. It may be for this reason that numerous amounts of people have actually claimed that certain paintings are haunted. So that's what we're going to be having a look at today. So here are 8 terrifying paintings that are said to be cursed. Number 1 is Pogo the Clown. This is actually a self-portrait done by John Wayne Gacy, who was an American serial killer responsible for the death of 33 people. He is known as the Killer Clown because he used to dress up like one and entertain people at various events. He would call this character Pogo the Clown. He has a number of strange and creepy paintings to his name, but this one definitely has the most notoriety. The painting was bought by Nicky Stone in 2001, but soon after he bought it, Nicky was plagued with bad luck. This ranged from his dog dying to his mother being diagnosed with cancer. He decided to give it to a friend, but the bad luck continued when that person's neighbor and close friend died shortly after. Finally, they passed it on to somebody else they knew, and that person attempted suicide whilst in possession of the painting. Now this of course could all just be coincidental, but it seems like anyone who gets their hands on this painting ends up quickly discarding it. Actor Johnny Depp actually had a copy of this piece, and he also got rid of it because he claimed that no one wanted anything to do with it. Number 2 is a portrait of Lady Ossington. Lady Ossington from Britain was the daughter of William Bentinck, who was the 4th Duke of Portland in the 1800s. She was also married to John Denison, who was a successful British statesman.
So I've watched a program on TV about a doll that was cursed, and legit, the dude is so particular that this thing is cursed that he won't let anybody touch it, because everybody that touches it gets like possessed.
In 1882, the general goal was to create a place where travelers could sleep without being tempted to purchase alcohol. Well, after she died, the business was run by several different owners, but it was eventually sold, and ironically, it was converted into a bar. In 2011, the BBC reported that the owners experienced some strange occurrences with the painting since the conversion. It would reportedly fly off the wall repeatedly, and people began saying that the painting now gave off a much stranger, darker vibe. It was eventually sold to a museum, and oddly enough, there have been no reports of anything strange occurring since.
So yeah, there's a bunch more of these. I didn't watch this one all the way through. It's kind of a little boring. And we don't do boring around here. You know, if you guys didn't know, I am an entrepreneur. I've started five businesses. All but one were successful because I did it with a partner. And having a partner, just, you know, it's difficult. You really, 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 really need to know who your partner is. You know, I encourage every single person that comes on and listens that every single person was given a gift at birth, you know, and honestly, if you just hang out with me for 15, 20 minutes, you know what I mean? I can probably find something that you do that is profitable. And we know that your job sucks. You know, if you're not working for yourself, you're not as happy as you could be. And so I just try every day to encourage the people around me to seek out that gift, you know what I mean, and profit from it, because, you know, life is so much better, you know, with self-discipline. When you're your own boss, you got to wake up. I got to wake up early. I think I woke up at 8 o'clock this morning just to come talk to you, as I do every Monday and Thursday. And so, yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to walk up to your boss one day and just be like, you know what? Fuck you. Yep. And just throw it up and walk the fuck out and go start your real life. And as always, thank you so much for joining in with us. We have joined forces with Art from Scars, and that is an organization that tries to help women finalize, you know, a very tragic time in their life where they have lost their breasts. And so we are asking you to go to artfromscars.org and donate $5. Anything will help in order to let us help them, you know, finish off and cover up the scars. You know, these women, a lot of these women have lost their breasts. Some of them have augmentation, some of them don't, but they are left with a giant scar that usually goes right dead across the nipples from armpit to armpit. And so we want to cover that up. We want to, you know, mask it so that they don't have to look at that every single day. And so definitely artfromscars.org. Check them out. If you have any questions after we're off the air today, you can always go to apexarttalk@gmail.com. And yeah, we're a tattoo shop. I'm the lead tattoo artist here at Apex Tattoo Factory, and we're just glad to have you with us. So we'll definitely see you next Monday, and stick around because I got a pretty good video here for you. Something to brighten up your week. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you on Monday.
Put yourself in a what? In a peak state. It's going to be step number one no matter what we do. Now, here's the good news. There's basically two things you'll change to change your state in the moment. You'll change either your what? And what kind of change in the physiology? What kind? Radical change, or you will change your, or both, right? And you know how to do it. So let's very quickly first see that. I'll walk you through the whole thing first. So once you get yourself in a peak state, that's kind of like priming the pump. Ever got yourself in a peak state, like a wham, and you're there for a while, then gradually you come back to the kryptonite Clark Kent that you were before, right? How many have experienced this, being in a peak state and then gradually dropping down? Say aye. The reason you drop down is you didn't keep momentum going by going to the second element. And that is, you must find your passion. And what does that mean? It means you got to discover, what do you love? What do you really love? What excites you? What juices you? What do you hate? Because I got news for you. People are driven not only by what they want, but also what they don't want. Very often people come to me and they'll say, but I don't know what I want to do for my career. I'll say, well, describe to me the ideal job. I don't know what it is. I'll say, okay, great. Describe to me the job you would hate. Describe to me right now a job. Describe the environment you would hate to be in, the people you'd hate to be around, the kind of work you would hate to do, right? The kind of money you'd hate to make. You go through the whole thing. And when they're all done, they have no problem describing what they hate, and they get passionate about what they hate. Oh, I hate this and I hate that. All this energy is coming out of them. Then I say, okay, great. Look at that. You hate that? Yeah. Now write the opposite of it, and you have the job for heaven. You have your ideal. So you can get to a person's drive through what they love, through what they hate, through what excites them, through what drives them. And very often I'll ask people, well, what do you want? And they go, I don't know. If I knew that, I could get it all worked out. I really don't know. Now the reason they don't know is because they're asking in this state. See, it's like trying to walk in this state. Not going to happen. So the reason you're not getting the answer is you are not putting yourself in a state of total certainty. So by putting yourself in a peak state, people often say, I don't know what I want. I say, stand tall, breathe strong. Now, if you knew what you want, what would you say it was? They tell you immediately. Because all you've done is put in the state where the answers really are there. That's all you got to do. Third part, once you're in state, that's like priming the pump, right? Remember in the old days, if you want to get out of the well, the water, you had to feed it something first. So putting yourself in state feeds it. But to get to the well, you find your passion. And the well of passion is never ending. Things you love, things you excite you, things you hate. But once you find that passion, that'll go for a long time. But you eventually, to keep momentum going, you have to take that passion and do something with it. So step 3 is you must decide, commit, and resolve what you're going to do with it. And that's what keeps the momentum going. Otherwise, you're just passionate for a long time, and then gradually that'll dissipate. And by the way, those are 3 different experiences: decision, committing, and resolving. They are different emotions, and they're all 3 critical if you're going to actually follow through on your decision. Step 4 for momentum is you must get yourself to take massive what? That's right. Because the only way a decision is real is if you act upon it. If you don't act upon it, you make a decision, you'll lose momentum. And then finally, when you start taking action, you'll start getting results, and now you want to be SMART. And SMART is an acronym for you want to make sure your strategy is really working. Remember, you want to have sensory acuity. Is it working or not? You want to measure it. You want to assess, is it giving you what you want? And if it is, you want to reinforce it and take new action. And that keeps the momentum going. And then you'll see in the middle of the circle, there are some forces that will either accelerate or break your progress. And that is emotion. Certain emotions will speed it up, more passion, right? More intensity. Certain emotions like fear will slow it down. It'll break your progress and momentum. Same thing is true with focusing your power. When you concentrate all your focus on something, it accelerates it if it's something good. If you focus on your greatest fear, it's going to slow everything down. Same thing as modeling. If I want to speed up my momentum, well, then I can learn by someone else's experience. When I had no money, I mean none, I couldn't pay my own bills, I couldn't pay my rent, I would take my money and go to a seminar or take somebody to lunch who was brilliant and pick their brain. Because I realized I'm always not going to have money for rent until I make a radical change in my understanding, skill, and psychology. And I don't want to wait forever, I got to get it now. So I would stretch to get the resources of someone else when I couldn't possibly do it because I understood that. And a big part of my life came about from saying, I want to compress decades into days. The only way to do that is get those resources, and that sped up my momentum. It gave me the power of modeling. Another one there is synergy. How through synergy you can speed things up. And lastly, the power of environment. What drives you? What do you really want? What are you committed to? Now, once you've got those emotions brewing, it's a lot easier to do what all change comes from, which is to make a real what? Decision. Because if you look at your life and you want to see why your life is the way it is, the parts of your life you love and maybe the parts of your life you're not as thrilled with, you can really define why your life is there if you really look at your life by your decisions. You say, no, that's the way God made it. Well, that may be true, but God has made lots of people have the same experience, but what you took out of that experience was your conscious choice or unconscious choice. You decided. And so if you look at your life, I bet you could look at the last 10 years of your life, for example, maybe the last 15. I'd be willing to bet there are places along the way that if you would have made a different decision, your life would be radically different than it is right now. Better or worse, I don't know, but you probably do. But it'd certainly be different. How many would agree with that? Say aye. And a lot of times those decisions we don't think much about. Sometimes they're decisions like what are we going to do for a living, or where we're going to live, or who we're going to spend time with, or who we're going to marry, or whether we're going to have children, right? What we're going to believe. Those choices have shaped who you are. And so if you want to transform the quality of your life, there is only one power, and it's decision. But most people have not made a decision so long, like a real decision, I mean a tough one where it's hard and you make yourself do it. they kind of like express preferences and kind of see if it works out. They put it in a should mode. A decision made from a should is not a real decision because you don't act on it. You do it for a little while. You never really not only decide, but they commit and really resolve that no matter what, you're going to make it happen. That's different than just deciding in the moment, right? That's not a real decision. That's a preference that you're expressing. So if you think about that, then there are decisions along the way that have shaped your life radically. And if you want to shape your life, you want to take control of that power that your Creator has given you. And you got to do it consciously, because otherwise what happens is you just go with the flow. And going the flow sounds really nice. But the problem is you get to the fork in the river and you haven't decided clearly, you go with the flow. Well, the flow of water, the strongest flow, goes to where the falls are. And one day you wake up, 3 feet from Niagara Falls in a boat with no oars, and you go, oh, shoot. And at that point, it's a little late. So what we want to do is get really conscious about decision making, but again, you want to do it from a peak state. I had a friend that for years drove this old, horrible car he hated, but he kept doing it because his belief was that God wanted him to be poor, and his kids hated it. They'd make him drop him off a block from school. He made a decision to believe that God wanted him to be abundant, and his first act that he did, his committed act, is he took out a shotgun and blew up as many holes in that car as he could, saying, I will never drive this car again, and neither will anyone else. Commit and act. Momentum comes when you not only decide, but you take immediate action. What immediate action are you going to take to demonstrate you mean it? Who are you going to tell? What are you going to do? What's the first thing you do? Simple thing. And what's a big thing you could do that commits you here, that shows this means business? Action is momentum. What action would you take immediately to create more momentum now? To back up your decision with power. Think. What's a little decision, little action rather, on your decision? And what's a big one you do that would just be like, this is it, baby? And feel good. Feel good to take, commit and act, wouldn't it? It takes you beyond decision. It takes you to total momentum, action, power, results. Now, if you remember this momentum model, we said that the steps were that you had to first put yourself in a peak, what? Step 2 is once you're in that peak state, to keep it going, you got to find your, what do you love, what do you hate, what excites you, what drives you. Once you're there, you must you must make an immediate decision, right? Because you got to use that emotion to do something worthwhile. And then you want to take decision to committing and resolving. How many can feel the difference when we went to resolve? Say I. Then you must take immediate, massive, intelligent what? That's right. Then all you got to do is be smart, which is notice your strategy if it's working or not. If it's working, reinforce it. It'll keep your momentum. If it's not, change your approach. What if that doesn't work? What do you do? If that doesn't work, what do you do? Whole time using your sensory acuity. Keep changing till you get what you want, period.